Hello and welcome back to the Formula 1 chat. Today we're here for our Canadian Grand Prix review, the 2023 Formula 1 season preview, I should say, sorry, not review. The 2023 F1 season is already 8 rounds in now, so we're the 8th round. It's not been the most exciting season so far, has it?
No, but I'm optimistic. The last two races we've had have been pretty decent races. We've seen a little bit of action.
Monaco was spicy because of the rain. Spain was a good round though. We saw a lot of overtakes. And hopefully we can see that repeated in Canada now.
Grid.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the fear though, is we require a mixed-up grid or wet weather around a street circuit for an actually good Grand Prix at the moment.
I think that's the whole point of motor races, isn't it? It's going to be entertaining. It is entertaining when the drivers are in the wrong places. You got the two fastest at the front and the two fastest at the back.
Is that how it should be? Because for me, in most other motorsport, it's all exciting in all conditions. Look at IndyCar, look at Formula E.
My thing of IndyCar is that 17 people could win the race.
Is that not brilliant?
Look at Indy 500.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's more like 50 drivers in there.
Is that not a better way of racing?
No, but F1's not really in a position where we can have like in terms of double digits. Like look at IndyCar. We see 10, 11, 12, however many, we see double digits numbers of people who lead the race.
But why can't F1 have that?
Because that's just not how it works. The cars in IndyCar are very equal. Okay, yeah, if we went to an equal series, then yeah, it'd be a lot closer.
IndyCar's not spec though.
Oh, but come on, it's just...
In the same way Formula 2 is not a spec.
Yeah, but it's similar enough.
I don't know. Maybe F1 obviously I know is a lot more about the engineering, but would it not create a more interesting series? If
it
there
might,
was,
but we're not going to see 12 people lead the Canadian Grand Prix.
But would that not be better?
Oh, it would be.
That was what you were denying a moment ago. That's what I was...
No, that's where the mixed up grid comes from. Like a mixed up grid will give you people at the front that shouldn't be at the front.
Yeah, but I don't think F1 should rely on complete chaos and carnage for excitement.
But everyone, like you look at IndyCar, I think that does rely on chaos and carnage.
Does it?
Yeah. Why was Indy 500 interesting? Because they threw out the red flag with a lap to go, and then they had a brilliant finish round to the finish where Joseph Newgarden took it.
That's the problem. You've watched one race. A lot of other IndyCar races though have strong fights to the lead where the cars are close. They can actually battle.
Into a wall, ran at one of the streets that they racing in Detroit.
Yeah, they can't do that in F1 because they're nowhere near each other. The cars can't follow. So they just watch.
That's the point of the new regs.
But the regs have massively failed. If you've watched any racing this season, that's why there's no overtakes. The regs have failed massively. And it's just about the question, doesn't it? Because in 2021, we changed the regulation. In 2021, we had the closest grid we've ever had. And then in 2022, we changed the regulations to create closer racing. It's been bad.
Closer, wasn't it?
2022?
Yeah.
The year that Red Bull won 15 rounds?
Okay, yeah. If we look at the front, let's look at the rest of the grid.
Yeah, that wasn't great racing. It hasn't been great this year either. We need closer racing in Formula 1. Can Canada provide it? Well, I don't think it will do it by itself. It is an exciting circuit though. Lots of overtaking opportunities. We've got some heavy braking zones. We've got some long straights, meaning we will see some overtakes. Yes, they'll all be through DRS, but at least we'll see some fights, hopefully. Yeah. Of course, it is a historic and iconic track. Corners like the Wall of Champions are very familiar.
I mean, someone's going to end up in that wall at some point this weekend.
Probably, his name will probably rhyme with Rogan Wargent.
I was going to go
or
for Bick DeReese.
Lick the Niece. That's so bad.
Right. Anyway, I think I like Canada. It offers different challenges. It will be different to different cars. You look at Sector 1 and 3, they're very straight. Sector 2 is a bit more windy.
Yeah, there's certainly different challenges represented at the Canadian Grand Prix circuit. Hopefully we get to see an interesting race. Looking back at last time out, of course, was the Spanish Grand Prix, which we mentioned was quite a decent race. Again, though, a jumbled order did help that, qualifying being a bit chaotic for no real reason.
Why can't that happen ever again?
What?
Why can't that happen again this weekend?
It could. I don't think we should rely on it though, and it probably won't have. That's the problem. It doesn't happen every week.
It might,
but it doesn't.
It might from now on.
Okay,
It
sure.
was like who knows? Mercedes were on the pace last weekend. They could challenge Red Bull. They could bring the same pace this weekend.
Well, that was one of my
McLaren,
points. Yeah, Mercedes have better pace now. Do they have the pace to fight right at the front? Probably
Definitely.
not.
They get 2 in front. Part the bus.
Don't think it really matters how much you park the bus if he just blitzes past them. We're of course talking about the enigma, Max Verstappen. I don't think they'll out-qualify him is the problem. And then how they're going to overtake him, because so far nobody has this season overtaken Max Verstappen.
Again, there could be an incident. He could get impeded.
Yeah, potentially.
Safety
But
car
again,
falls away.
it looks like Red Bull will dominate. Perez in Spain, though, showed why he probably won't challenge this year for the World Championship. Just not consistent enough, is he?
No, but he does make it interesting.
Does he? By not being able to fight for the championship. I'd argue that's the opposite.
No, I mean just driving around the back.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think F1 does run on a jumbled grid.
Yeah,
and it should.
Okay, why?
Because of the way the sport's made. Because if you have your 2 fastest cars at the back, that's going to be more interesting if you have 2 fastest cars at the front.
I just like to see a load of fast cars all racing at the front together and fighting.
Well, I guess that would then involve turning it into a spec series, which is then a whole lot.
Well, not really. Just relies on Mercedes and Ferrari pulling their fingers out of their arse and actually catching up to Red Bull. Because I think the rest of the grid's actually really close. It's just in terms of pace. It's just a shame that actually the regulations, the cars can't follow close enough. It's too much of a problem, and the cars rely too heavily on DRS.
How do you get that wrong?
No, because you change the regulations wrong.
How do you make regs to make cars closer?
Well, because the teams find ways around it. That's what they intend to do.
Yeah, that's mental,
That is
Well,
mental,
surely you're
guys.
changing the regulations. In the regulations should be that you can't just...
Well, every area of... every single regulation ever, there is some way to exploit it. And the engineers will find any way they can. And the best at doing that is Adrian Newey, and that's why.
But that comes down to personnel. If everyone had Adrian Newey, then it'd be closer, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, because they'd all come up with the same idea, so their cars would be identical.
That's what I'm saying. If you want loads of fast cars, that's the only way. That's the one way.
I love the side of Formula One where it relies on evolutions and the teams come up with something new, and I think that could provide some surprises like Brawn GP in 2009. However, I also think we would be in for more exciting racing if the cars were more similar. So I'm torn, but yeah, I hope that the cars get closer. I hope we can have the best of both worlds. What to expect from Canada then? Looking back at last year's race,
Pretty close race, actually.
it was, but obviously back then Max Verstappen did not have the fastest car by any stretch. The Ferrari was definitely stronger. Verstappen still beating out Carlos Sainz the day of course Leclerc down the order. He took a grid penalty. Sergio Perez crashed, I believe, in qualifying.
Yeah.
So he was down the order as well. I think Hamilton took P3 on the day. So an interesting race. I think it'll be cool to see the Astons up there. They are, of course, rumoured to be bringing upgrades. That could bring them back ahead of Mercedes, or at least make those two close this weekend, which could be exciting, hopefully. Who knows? I don't know, were they?
Yeah.
Alonso took damage in qualifying and struggled after that. If he hadn't had that, I think he would have been fine. Probably would have
even in the race,
qualified P3. Yeah, because he still had damage on the floor there to tape it up.
Why don't they fix it?
Because you'd have to brake part firmly.
But that bit doesn't make sense to me. Because it's that damage, it's that performance impacting, just change it.
But what? And then take an 11th place grid drop. They wouldn't have got to where they did. If you brake part firmly, you just get moved. You have to start from the pit lane, no?
Yeah, but I just think that if it made him as slow as he was around Spain, I think it would be more beneficial to change it, start from the back, but be quick.
It's impossible to say, but ultimately, I don't think they'd have scored points.
Stroll's just pissing around, really.
I think if he'd gone to the back, he wouldn't have scored points. So I think that's why Aston didn't do that. But yeah, and then Stroll, I thought he did have decent pace. He did as much as he could have. I think Red Bull and Aston were quicker. Well, he finished 5th.
Stroll?
Did he not?
They thought he was like 12th in Spain.
I don't think so. I thought Stroll did alright in Spain.
Unless I've got him and Alonso the way around.
Alonso was P9 quali and Stroll was like P7.
They didn't finish out. One of them finished outside the points.
I'm not sure. We'll have a look. Spain, round 8 last time out. Lance Stroll, P6 for Stroll. P7 for Alonso. So
Fair enough.
qualifying, Stroll was P6. He ended up P6. I think he did all he really could have. I think ultimately the Red Bulls were quicker, the Mercedes were quicker. Sainz started 4 places ahead of him, would have been very hard to catch up, even though Ferrari did everything in their power to knock him down the order. I think ultimately Stroll maximised what he could have from the car that weekend. And Alonso, if he'd had a good qualifying and not a broken car, probably would have put in the top 3. I do think we need to have a serious conversation about Lance Stroll, though, and I think we probably will at some point over the next few weeks. We'll have a video out on him. But he is so far failing to meet expectations, and that is limiting the Aston Martin team, because they should be well clear of Mercedes, and they're currently behind them in the constructors.
They're driving one hand behind their back.
Well, they're not literally, but
Metaphorically.
in terms of the championship, of course, they are. So I think that brings us nicely onto this year's race. Have you got predictions ready?
I've got predictions ready.
Okay, well, we'll start as we always do then on the Saturday with the pole position. There's no sprint or anything going on this weekend.
No.
I've forgotten about. Nope, there isn't. So we'll start with the Saturday then. The pole position. Who have you given it to? Who's taking pole?
No brainer. Who else is going to be apart from Max Verstappen?
Yeah, so you just mentioned how qualifying could be jumbled. You put the most predictable...
Yeah, but Max was on pole in Spain, really, and
Yeah.
it was jumbled up behind him.
Yeah, fair enough, but it probably will be Max, won't it?
Yeah.
I have gone for a bit of a curveball, though.
You said Lance Stroll leave.
On pole position, I've gone for Lance Stroll. My thinking is, it's going to be... I'm predicting a bit of
He's
rain.
Canadian. That is all you've gone for.
It is. I'm predicting a bit of rain, and we know Lance Stroll is good in the wet
So
weather
forecast is
conditions.
dry.
Don't know, mate. Probably considering all the wildfires and stuff, but hear me out.
Wildfires, it's going to rain.
Yeah, put out the wildfires and bless Lance Stroll. Double Canadian joy. Lance Stroll pole. He's going to crush it. Put in a ridiculously good lap, and everyone's going to shut up about him being washed. And then Alonso will go and pick him up and throw him in the air.
Lovely.
First DNF then into the Sunday. This is the one where we can go a bit more mental with the predictions. Throw a little curveball in there. Who have you gone for as your first DNF?
I've gone for Lance Stroll.
Why?
Engine failure.
Really?
Mechanical problem.
It's an interesting prediction. Obviously, Aston have had no mechanical problems, no problems with reliability. There is. I don't know. There's not been many faults in general this season, have there? There's been Russell and
Leclerc.
Let's give it a Ferrari. That's it. No.
I think he's going to have one.
Okay, fair enough. I've gone for Oscar Piastri. I think he'll tangle with a Haas and end up in a barrier on lap 3. And that'll draw a
Probably.
safety car, or maybe even a red flag, something cool like that. And that'll be a DNF for Oscar Piastri, the first one out of the Grand Prix.
Lovely.
Fastest lap, then, who's going to whip it around the streets of Canada in the quickest time?
I've gone Perez.
Why?
Just because I think it'll be in a situation where he can go for one.
So what, P2 with a big gap behind?
Or just pissing around at the back.
But why would Red Bull, if he's pissing around the back, why
If
would
he's
Red Bull pit him?
14th,
Yeah.
and say Hamilton holds the fastest lap, they pit Perez to take it off him.
I think they just take it with Max. He'll probably have a 20-second gap.
Yeah, okay, in this situation then, Verstappen cannot take it.
Okay. And then Perez takes it from 14th and doesn't get the point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think Perez will be down the order. I think he's due a good weekend. He's had 2 tough weekends in a row now. I think he'll bounce back well in Canada.
Yeah.
First lap I've gone Verstappen because it's the obvious answer. He's really quick, isn't he? And I think he'll either just get it just while he's running around in circles while he's racing by himself, or he will do it. He'll have the gap back to be able to pit late on, strap on a pair of softs and blast it round as quick as he can. Up at the final one, the most interesting, most important prediction of the weekend. Who's winning the Canadian Grand Prix?
Max Verstappen.
Wow, he jinxed again.
Obvious. Who else is going to be?
Lance.
No.
I could see it.
He's not good enough. And no one's going to stop Max. I don't think he'll waltz it, but he'll still win.
I think Max will waltz it.
Fair enough.
Perez isn't very good around Canada. He's also in terrible form. Mercedes looked to be the closest team, and they were 20 seconds off in Spain, where they're usually really good there. It just doesn't look like anyone's able to lay a glove on Max Verstappen. The only potential thing I could see is that Max is not the biggest fan of the Canadian circuit, it seems. It wasn't a comfy win here last year, so maybe if Hamilton or Alonso's a fan of that package. No.
Oh, we didn't go, did we?
Didn't go in 2021. So yeah, I think unless someone like Alonso or Hamilton just pulls a masterclass out, has a nice package for the weekend, I think it's probably going to Max win, isn't it?
Probably. That's what he does.
It seems to be what he does. Yeah, he's very good. Anyway, that is all from this week's preview. If you have enjoyed, make sure to get involved in the comments down below. Who do you think's winning, and are you excited for another race in the most bland F1 season so far? If you're enjoying all the content recently and want to share your love, share and support us, then please leave a like and subscribe and recommend to every single person you know. Make sure to spread the word, spread the name of our channel, and yeah, hopefully we can start to grow a bit of a community over here.
Yeah.
That's all for us today, though. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.